Hey there, this is Leo, founder of Actualized.org, and stick with me here because what I'm about to tell you in this video is going to change your life. Have you ever been to a movie or seen a movie, maybe something like Braveheart or Troy or 300, one of those epic dramas, that at the end of it, it literally chokes you up or you get tears in your eyes? Why does that happen? What I would say is the reason that happens is because you see the characters in that movie living for something and fighting for something that's greater than themselves. They have some sort of mission, some sort of purpose, some sort of vision, and some sort of ideals that they need to fight for. Whether it's love or it's freedom or anything like that. And when we see that, and we see those characters fighting for it, and we see those characters giving their all, going full out and not holding back, we reflect on that and we see that our own potential is being squandered. We see ourselves not living up to our full potential like the characters on the screen. And that makes us literally cry. Life is short. I hope you realize that. One of the things that I was blessed with, I don't think that I'm different than anybody else, that I'm cut from a different cloth. But one of the gifts that I've been blessed with is that I've always understood that life is short and that we've got this one chance and that it's worth it to try to make something big out of it. It's worth it to live big and not small. And that, to me, what I really want out of life is I want everything. I want excitement, I want engagement, I want fulfillment. And I don't want to just hum along and be mediocre and be comfortable. And it really kills me because I have so many ideas for what I want to create in life. So many visions. And these visions and these ideas are bigger than myself. And I can literally make myself cry because I see the potential that I have and the potential that I'm leaving on the table and that I'm not stepping into, that I'm not realizing. And it's really been a struggle for me these last 5 years, trying to figure out what my purpose is in life. How do I get myself engaged with it again? And how do I stay on track? Because that feeling, I don't know if you felt this, but you've probably gotten a glimpse of this. That feeling of pride that you get when you set a vision for yourself, something big, something noble, and then you actually go out there and achieve it, and you work really hard, you struggle through the challenges, you build yourself up, you learn new skills, you develop yourself, you challenge yourself emotionally and in every possible way, physically, but then you finally achieve it. You realize that vision, and then you see the smile that that effect puts on other people. So whether it was a business that you were starting, or some charity work that you were doing, or raising your family, or whatever, seeing the smile of you putting your best into it on other people's faces, that is the best feeling in the world. And that pride that you get, that you knew that you had to tap into your full potential to get there. You knew that that vision, when you came up with it, was bigger than your current capabilities. You didn't have the skills, you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the resources, you didn't have the inner psychology, the mindsets and beliefs you needed. But something in that vision was so compelling that you just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to achieve it. I'm going to try. And then when you did, and you finally got it, and you reflect back on everything that you persevered through, that was the best moment of your life. For me, there have been cases in my life where I've had that. Numerous cases, but also inconsistent. A lot of times it was a year of that and then a year off. Or it was a week of that and then months of nothing. Just humming along life, being mediocre. So if you've ever experienced that, then you've probably been frustrated and you've probably also wondered, how do you make that more consistent? How do you stay on track with that kind of purpose? Or maybe you're the kind of person that doesn't really know what they want out of life right now. But you just have a sense that there's more to life than what you've been getting out of it. Maybe you already have a comfortable job. Maybe you already have a good relationship. Maybe you're already happy with your health. But you know also that there's more to be had. You don't have that kind of excitement that you see other people's having. You don't have the kind of fulfillment that you see other people having. And you know that you have dreams, you have grander visions for yourself, the kind of impact that you want to make in the world. but you haven't really figured out how to go out there and do it for whatever reason. Maybe it's because you literally don't know what the next step is. Or maybe it's because you've been trying at it and you've been struggling, but you've been self-sabotaging. And you've been not getting the kind of results that you want to get from your efforts. So whatever that is, I've been there. My own story really starts when I was a kid. When I was 6 years old, my parents brought me and my brother to the United States from Russia. I was born in Russia, and that's where I grew up for 6 years of my life. And then they brought me to the States, and I remember this very distinctly, that those first few days being in the States were some of the most vivid memories that I still have. Just seeing the abundance that is here, walking through a grocery store and seeing towering aisles of produce, kind of abundance that is just taken for granted nowadays. And I take it for granted nowadays. But at that time, it was something special to me because I came from a place where that didn't exist. And I specifically remember my parents taking us to Toys R Us a couple days after we came to the States. And they said that we could each have one toy of our choice. I wasted my choice on some little flimsy paper airplane or plastic airplane. And my brother, he got a Game Boy. He was a smart one. He got a Game Boy, and I remember looking into that screen as he was playing it and seeing the pixels moving around on that screen and just being so captivated, so enthralled by that I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create that. I wanted to create those pixels, and I wanted to make them move, and I wanted to make games. And since I was 6 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a game designer. To cut a long story short, eventually after college, I ended up landing a good game design job in Boston, but the problem was that I wasn't really in touch enough with myself, my own psychology, to figure out how to make that job a success. Part of the problem was that I got there and I started feeling inadequate because I thought that I was this awesome designer, and then when I got there I saw all these other awesome designers, and suddenly that put me in my place. And all of a sudden I knew that it wasn't talent that I had to work off of, it was development. I had to develop myself all of a sudden. And that came as a bit of a shock. But then eventually what made me leave that job is the want to have a certain impact with my career that I just knew I couldn't have at that company, even though it was one of the best companies in the world. I knew that I had to make the bold choice to go off on my own and do something myself. And that's when I started my own business. But part of the challenge there was that after I did start my business, I started to lose touch with my initial purpose, because the business that I started was in internet marketing. It wasn't related to games. And what happened was that when I made that choice to shift from games to business, to internet marketing, is that I lost touch with that original drive that I had. And I was no longer passionate and engaged. I wasn't driven by something bigger than myself. I was driven mostly by money at that point and external success. And over the next few years, I got that external success and I got all that money, and I was more miserable than ever. And so at that point, I really turned to personal development and success. I started reading books. I started listening to lectures. I started listening to seminars and attending trainings and figuring out, what is necessary to get this part of life handled. Because I wasn't satisfied with being mediocre. And I got tired of just earning money and being depressed and miserable all the time because I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. And so I had to struggle through this idea. I had to really struggle through the doubt as to whether it's possible to even find a life purpose. Because that original purpose that I had, being a game designer, that came to me unconsciously. That came to me by accident, really. If I wasn't there that day at Toys R Us and my brother didn't get that Game Boy, perhaps I would never have wanted to become a designer. And so I figured, how do I replace that? I threw that purpose away. I turned my back on it. How do I find a new purpose? Is that even possible? And so what I did is I spent several years trying to figure that out. And only just a couple of months ago did I really hone in on it. And did I really develop that drive that I had again. And that kind of drive is just so amazing. If you don't have that in your life, frankly, I feel a little bit sorry for you, because you're never going to feel what life is really about. You're never going to feel the kind of excitement that you can feel, the kind of pride that you can feel, the kind of impact that you can have on other people. See, I want you to start seeing yourself as a creator. I always have seen myself as a creator, and not necessarily as a creative person or an artistic person, but a creator. That means that you're someone who has a vision for what you want to manifest in the world. And that can happen in any kind of way. That can either be literally through painting and art and music, or it can be by designing great games, or it can be by being an engineer that creates amazing products or amazing processes, or it can be by being a product designer or creating your own business. It can be starting a charity. It can be helping people with your understanding and your wisdom and your expertise and figuring out how to translate that knowledge to them so that it helps their lives. It can be about raising a great family. It can be about having amazing relationships and contributing everything that you can to that relationship. It can be about helping your friends. Whatever it is, it's still you creating. Creating means that you have an idea in your mind, some sort of vision, and it's compelling enough for you that you're willing to sacrifice for it. And it's something that's going to make a positive change in the world. It's something that's new, right? This is, of course, the opposite of what a lot of people do. A lot of people do the opposite by getting a job, something that they're comfortable in, and just working at it, not really caring about what they're doing, and just kind of humming along and living a comfortable kind of life. You know, that's easy to do nowadays. A lot of people actually still struggle even with that, but nowadays that's pretty easy to do. You can go to college, you can get a degree, you can go and find a reasonably well-paying job, and then you can find yourself a good spouse, and you can find yourself some good friends, and you can get your family situation relatively well handled, and you can get your fitness taken care of, at a moderate level, and you're going to be happy in life. You're going to be comfortable. The challenge, though, is that you probably also see that there's more. If you settle for a mediocre life, then you also settle for a certain, just kind of a baseline satisfaction, but not real excitement. Are you excited to actually wake up in the morning? If you're not, then something is missing. You don't have that purpose. You don't have that drive. And I want to tell you that it's possible to get it. Don't doubt that it's not. See, one of the biggest misconceptions and one of the biggest things I think that keeps people from pursuing this path of excellence, pursuing this path of purpose and vision and creationship, is that they think that people that are creators are somehow different than you. So you might be sitting there and thinking, well, that's all well and good, but I'm just not that kind of person. I've never been driven. I've never been that motivated. I've never been excited to jump out of bed. And the reason that is not because you're cut from a different cloth or that I'm different than you somehow. It's just that you haven't found that yet. And that's what Actualized.org is about helping you unleash your full potential. Strategies to do that and figuring out, what does it take? I've spent really the last 5 years studying this stuff. I'm on track to process about $100,000 worth of the best books and seminars and video products and trainings on success, psychology, human development, human potential, peak performance, and business and marketing, right? Because all of these areas were necessary to study for me to build a model of what it takes to get this handled, to get an exciting kind of life created. Because it's not just about getting one piece of your life into place, it's about getting them all into place and designing that awesome life so that you have an awesome career, so that you have awesome relationships, so that you have good health, so that you are free and have the time and the money to do the things that you want to do recreationally, so that you have an awesome lifestyle, so that you're living in a city and a country and in the house that you kind of want to live in, and you have time to travel and do whatever else is important for you in your life. Getting all of that into place is critical, but it all starts with that foundation of being a creator and contributing something to the world, having that kind of vision. And if you're not there yet right now, if you just maybe have kind of a standard 9-to-5 job, something that just pays the bills, you can get there. Make your purpose right now to get that exciting kind of life. And that doesn't mean you'll get it tomorrow. You're going to have to work for it. It took me 5 years to really spend a lot of time working on it. I have to read through literally hundreds of books and talk to experts and go on some amazing adventures to figure this stuff out. And I'm still working through a lot of it. But the idea here is that I want to plant the seed in you that this is possible. Not only is it possible, it's really the most that you can do with your life. I mean, what else are you going to be doing with your life? Are you going to be watching TV? Are you going to be sitting at home? Are you going to be going to a boring 9-to-5 job? Is that what you want? Or do you want something more? Do you want to contribute? I really challenge you to make your life big. Make your life about contribution to other people, and then getting it back in return. So I don't do this out of some altruistic Mother Teresa type of philosophy. What I'm doing here is actually very selfishly driven. I want to feel good. I want to feel excited. I want to feel engaged. I want to be happy. And the only way that I found to do that is by creating. To get the kind of financial abundance that I want, the best way to do it is not through some get-rich-quick scheme. It is by creating. It is about contributing to others, because what you contribute to others and what you're passionate about is going to come back to you. Not in some airy-fairy way, but in a very tangible way, because you're going to be creating the most value that you can create. This is really a strategy to create a lot of value. And to tap into that strategy, you need to tap into your passion. So I talk strategy here, and this is really what Actualized.org is about, because one of the things, by going through all this self-development literature and success literature, all these seminars and products, one of the things that I found missing was that few products or books out there give you the biggest picture, give you the high level. And what I found is that it's not about the how-to. There's so much how-to information out there in society nowadays. You can go and Google for an article or a video that will tell you how to do pretty much anything. Any skill that you want to learn, anything from playing a guitar to learning to program to building your own website to starting a business to getting your marriage back on track to getting your fitness back on track, all of that is out there. The problem, though, is that we don't utilize those resources. And the reason is that we're not engaged, we're not properly motivated, we don't have the big picture understanding of what we're doing with our lives. So for me, Actualized.org is really about giving you the concepts and the strategies, the big picture, so that you can be independent-minded and you can be an effective general in your own life. Of course, we're also going to cover the techniques and the little tips and the strategies that you can, not the strategies, but the tactics, rather, that you can use to implement this stuff. I can give you a 1, 2, 3 checklist that you can go out there and do tomorrow to really improve some aspect of your life, whatever it is. But I also want you to be an independent thinker, and I want you to understand why you're doing it. I want you to have the drive, so that when I'm not there whispering in your ear, you are there whispering in your own ear. And that takes an understanding of inner game, building the kind of mindsets that you need to build to be happy in life. Because the other thing that I found through my journey is that external rewards are really not as fulfilling as we think they are. And we know this intuitively, but still we chase after them. But here's the thing, is that you can have all the money, and you can have the ripped six-pack, and you can have the perfect spouse, and you can have the awesome house, and you could even be doing all the traveling that you want to do, and you're still not going to be happy. And the reason that is because your inner game is not going to be dialed in. Your psychology. You need to have a certain emotional mastery in order to be happy and successful in life. You need to have a certain self-awareness. You need to have a certain appreciation for knowledge and a certain understanding of how life works and what it takes to be successful. And also kind of an understanding of your own self and what drives you. Because you're different. In some level, I want to say that you're the same as everyone else. But on some level, you're also unique and different. You're the same in that we're all humans and we're all driven by certain psychological tendencies of success that are easy to explain and easy to apply, and they will apply across the board no matter what race you are, what country you're from, what social condition, whatever financial condition you're in, or whatever. But there's also unique things about you, and the unique parts about you are what we want to bring forward and what we want to bring into your creatorship, right? This is, what do you want to contribute? What do you find meaningful? And I really challenge you to find something that's meaningful in your life. You know, going back to that point about people crying at movies because you see the potential and you see these characters that are fighting for something that's bigger than life. Well, I want to challenge you to have something in your life that you're willing to die for. Because if you don't have something in your life that you're willing to die for, and you haven't articulated that to yourself, whatever it is, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your job, maybe it's your business, whatever, something, then you're not going to be engaged. You're not going to be as engaged. And you know what? The world, the future, is going to go to the people that are most engaged and that figure out how to engage themselves. Because the last century was about being a factory worker and doing what your boss told you to do and fitting into society and just being a cog in the machine. And that was good. You know, you can get a steady paycheck doing that and live a relatively comfortable life. But that's not the case anymore. Nowadays, with cheap labor from overseas, from third world countries. The future is not going to be about being a factory worker. It's about being a creator. And it's about taking your unique talents, your unique perspective on life, and sharing that through some sort of vehicle with the world. And then, of course, setting that up so that you get value back in return. So that maybe you're creating a business out of it that pays for your family and for you. Or maybe it's about going to work for an awesome company that will compensate you fairly for what you're doing. But it's about finding out what it is that you want to contribute and then contributing that. I really believe that in the 21st century, the next 100 years, that this is going to be the major shift in humanity, is that fewer people are going to be doing mundane jobs that require no creative input, no artistic endeavors, to a transition where everybody's going to be doing that and everyone's going to be striving for that. Because first of all, that's where you get your fulfillment from. Second of all, that's where the most value is generated for other people. So if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be rich, counterintuitively, the best way to do that is not to go after some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about taking a more steady approach, understanding yourself and figuring out what kind of vision is going to be valuable for the world, and getting that vision to also be aligned with you. So it's not about just doing something for the world that you don't want to do. It's the exact opposite. It's about figuring out what do you want to do the most that also the world wants, and then going out and figuring out how do I align my life with all that. See, here's the thing. As I talked about before, it's very easy for us to be in a place of comfort right here. You know, you can be earning a decent paycheck, paying your bills, and being in a place of comfort. But then when you have that vision, you have that dream of something that you want to accomplish in life, well, usually what that means, the reason that it's compelling for you is because it's a lofty goal. It's something that you know you're going to have to work towards yourself. And you're going to have to grow into it because right now your current capabilities are simply not enough to accomplish that, right? And so the challenge then becomes, how do you grow into that? What is the process? What kind of strategies do you need? What kind of techniques do you need? What kind of things do you need to be aware of? What kind of pitfalls are on that journey? And that's what Actualized.org is here to help you do. On the one hand, we're here to help you find out what is that vision. Let's clarify it. Let's make it really well articulated so that you're on track. And then once we have you pointed in the right direction, if you've ever been on track, you also know it's easy to get off track. So part of this here is to provide you with the inner game, the mindset, the resources, the psychological resources that you need to keep yourself on track. Right? Because that's what I want for you. I don't want you to experience just a little flash in the pan of excitement and fulfillment. I want that to be sustainable in your life. And in fact, I want it to grow every year. I want it to increase every year. And what I found is that I struggle to do this. Everyone struggles to do this. If you think that successful people and creators out there somehow just have this naturally handled, you're dead wrong. And in fact, that's one of the biggest misconceptions I think that keeps people from getting on track here. Because you will be challenging yourself. There are no easy answers. You're gonna have to work for it. I'm not promising any magic pills here. But what I am certain that I can do for you, and the value that I can provide to you, is I can show you how to cut your learning curve. Because man, do I wish that someone had this conversation with me 5 years ago. It would have really helped me figure stuff out. And a lot of the things that I'm sharing with you on this website, the free videos, the articles, all the downloads, are here to help you figure this stuff out. Because I want you to be engaged with your life, because that's what my purpose is. At this point, I've transitioned. And I've designed my life in order to be able to do what I'm doing right now. This is all I do, is I study success and human psychology. I try to figure out how I can go out there and apply it in my life so that my life is improved and I'm getting the kind of engagement and success that I want for myself. And then I figure out and look at how it can be applied to other people. I research, I study, I shoot videos, I write articles, I talk to people about this stuff, I interview people, and then I come out here and I want to share this knowledge and this wisdom with you. So take advantage of it. Don't leave this information just rolling around in your head. I want you to go out there and take action and watch all the videos and take all the resources to heart and really challenge yourself to get excited about your life. So If this is something that is compelling for you, then I really encourage you to go ahead and take some action here. Sign up for the free newsletter. No strings attached, no spam. Here's how it's going to work. By signing up, you're going to get instant access to an exclusive video that's not posted anywhere else, that's going to tell you the 10 top dream killers, as I call them. These are the things that people do that keep them from achieving their dreams and keep them from living that life of a vision of creatorship. So I'm going to talk about that in that video. You're going to get instant access to it when you sign up through email. And then, of course, you're going to get email updates with all future articles and videos that I publish. And I do that about on a weekly basis. So a lot of good stuff, all free. Go ahead and sign up right now, and you're going to be set with all future updates. The other thing that I want you to do is I want you to get engaged here. I want you to contribute to this website. I want you to contribute to my YouTube channel. I want you to contact me. I want you to leave comments. I want you to discuss the challenges that you've had in your life, because I'm genuinely interested in this. I've had my own challenges. They're unique, and I think that I found a lot of strategies that will work across the board for different people. I know things that you should not do that will definitely not work for you. And I know some things that will definitely work for you. And then some things vary as to how effective they are based on your own personal psychology and past experiences and values. And so I want to hear, what are your challenges? What are your biggest frustrations right now with maybe your job or your life or your career or your business or your fitness level or your relationships, whatever? Tell me about that. Tell me about what strategies you found worked. And tell me what I can do to help you. What kind of questions can I answer? What kind of videos can I create? What kind of articles can I create? What kind of products and services can I offer you to help you on that path? Because what I'm really about is results. I don't want to just theorize about this stuff. I don't want to bullshit about it. I'm a hard-nosed kind of guy. I like to see the results. I like to feel the results. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And so I want the same for you. I want to create really a database of resources for people in the future to be able to reference and quickly get the kind of results in their life that they want. So be sure to comment in the comment boxes below. Send me emails. Shoot me up on Facebook or Twitter or one of the other social channels. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to hearing also about the successes that you get. Tell me about the stuff that's worked for you. And tell me also about the stuff that hasn't worked, so that I can tweak it, improve it, and we can get you on track with an engaging, exciting life, the kind of life that you know you want.